anything but. We move to the bottom of the 6th. Still 4-2 New York. Damon takes a strike on the outside corner. Top of the order for Boston. They trail by 2. Damon, Walker, and Garciaparra. If anybody gets on, Manny Ramirez. Another hit for Johnny Damon. He's 3 for 3. Tying run will come to the plate. Let's check in again with Chris Myers.
Joe, after that eruption in the 4th inning, the people here at Fenway immediately stopped beer sales to the fans. And you touched on it a moment ago, although Damon's base hit has them up and hollering. They're very tense. They're almost not sure how to feel. Checking out both dugouts after that incident, the Red Sox seem more relaxed. The Yankees seem ready to go, ready to rumble. In fact, a lot of the players are still upset about what happened to Don Zimmer.
All right, Chris, thanks. Tying run at the plate. It's Todd Walker. Ball 1. Garciaparra on deck. Damon groaning as he gets back into that base that has a microphone in it.
Todd Walker, with only 13 home runs during the regular season, has 4 home runs in 6+ games in the postseason. When asked about it at the press conference, he said, "I don't know why I'm doing it."
Here comes Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach for the Yankees, to talk to Clemens. He's run it to 3-0 after the hit by Damon.
Funny, you hear often when major league hitters are going well, they refuse to talk about how they're doing it because often they don't know. But if they're going poorly, they can point out every single detail about why they're going poorly. What is it about we humans, Brett Boone?
You know what? When I'm going bad, I try to, because I like to watch a lot of video. But I'll never go in there and watch my swings when I'm going bad. I'll go to the positive things, a highlight tape, and look at the good things. I know what I'm doing wrong.
Here's a 3-0. 2 on, nobody out.
There's your crowd.
First walk by Clemens. Tying runs are on, and Garciaparra, no RBIs in the postseason, is up.
The last time you and I did a regular season game was late July, and Garciaparra tried to bunt with runners on at first and second. The Boston press the next day said, "How in the world can this happen?" Well, first and second, nobody out.
And a strike from Clemens.
You and I were startled that day that he would even attempt it.
So was Grady Little, his manager. No balls, 2 strikes. Garciaparra strikes out. 2 on, 1 out.
A guy like Roger Clemens can do that to a free swinger like Garciaparra out of the strike zone. Here's an interesting situation because Ramirez was the batter when Clemens came inside after Martinez hit Kareem Garcia. And the swing that Ramirez had was poor. You could make a case that leading up to that pitch inside, he had poor swings at Clemens. What you said, Joe, almost going up to the plate, looking for it. With a count, no balls and 2 strikes. That was the pitch that incited the bench clearing. Pedro Martinez throwing Don Zimmer down. Things are calmer. That's about all you could say.
2 on, 1 out. Tying runs on at first and second here in the 6th. You wonder about the inside part of the plate and off the inside part of the plate with Clemens dealing with Manny Ramirez. Struck him out away in that last at bat, started this one away. Again away. It's 2-0. Rip by Ramirez. 2-1. Contreras and Heredia, a right-hander and a left-hander, getting ready for the Yankees in their bullpen. Clemens, who will retire at the end of the year, he says, on this mound for the final time.
It may be his final batter right here. With Heredia, perhaps in to pitch to Ortiz, depending on what Ramirez does.
Ramirez chased it, and it's 2-2.
Like Ramirez went after ball 3, that ball slightly above the letters.
Shattered bat might be 2. Jeter with Soriano in the middle. 6-4-3 double play. Garciaparra struck out. Manny Ramirez grounds into the double play. Clemens and the Yankees pumped up. They lead after 6 by 2. Back after this from your local Fox station. Swinging strike on Kareem Garcia, a big part of this game. Grounds to Millar, gets a nice hop coming up. With Pedro Martinez in the neighborhood and Garcia going right by him. 1 out in the top of the 7th. You go back to the double play hit into by Ramirez. Bullpen right now is quiet for the Yankees. They did have Heredia and Contreras loosening during the bottom of the 6th. Clemens may be headed back out there for another inning. Soriano out in front of it, strike 1.
It seems to me that the one thing that Joe Torre wants to get away from is to taking Roger Clemens out during an inning I think that's why Heredia is now back up and throwing. Clemens is in the clubhouse. He's not on the Yankee bench, and he could be finished for the night. That could be his last pitch at Fenway Park, that double play ball to Manny Ramirez.
96 pitches on the night for Roger Clemens to this point. And he has done brilliant work here tonight, all things considered. Getting himself focused on the start. All that happened in that 4th inning. Coming back here and pitching for the final time. And right now, after 6 innings in this all-important game 3 with a series tie, the Yankees lead by 2 here in the 7th inning. 1-2 to Soriano. 2-2.
I think out of respect for Roger Clemens, the reason Torrey thinks that is fairly clear. He doesn't want a negative reaction to Roger Clemens his last time he pitches at Fenway Park.
2 out. That may be, but if the Yankees go to the bullpen and it's Felix Heredia on the mound in the 7th inning, you're bringing him in to deal with the left-handed bat of David Ortiz. Then you've got Millar. Then you've got another lefty, Nixon, coming up. You're talking about bringing in a guy that you picked up very late in the season, a guy who's bounced around, a guy who's been good for Joe Torre. But it would be an awful lot to put on Heredia if he's out there for any extended period of time.
Well,
Ball 1 misses to Enrique Wilson.
Point well taken, but your backup there is Contreras, who's pitched very well. And after Contreras, Mariano Rivera, who could go 2 innings. So we're deep enough into the game to where you have a safety valve for Heredia. And he is perhaps the best safety valve in baseball.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. Enrique Wilson takes a strike. The 4th inning, when the Yankees took the lead, a leadoff walk to Posada, a base hit by Nick Johnson, an RBI ground rule double by Matsui. This is to third. Miller with a leap. Good play. Inning is over. A double play hit into by Soriano in that 4th inning. The Yankees took a 2-run lead. They still lead by 2 as it's time to stretch in Boston. Massachusetts State Police Sergeant Dan Clark with God Bless America. We remind you the League Championship Series on Fox is brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Couple of changes for the Yankees as they take the field. Felix Heredia will come into the game. He's on the mound, and Aaron Boone will come in to play third base. Enrique Wilson is finished, and that means that Roger Clemens is finished. We go back to the end of August when Roger Clemens left on the winning side. Walking off the field and then acknowledging this crowd here at Fenway Park. A classy move by these fans. And when you talk to Joe Torre about it, he'll tell you it was genuine because, in his words, he didn't walk off the mound as a losing pitcher that day. He walked off with the lead, and it was a nice gesture. Now here tonight, we've had a little bit of everything, but the bottom line is Roger Clemens has outpitched Pedro Martinez to this point, and Clemens has put his Yankees team in a position to win this game and go up 2-1 in this ALCS. But this is his final game at Fenway Park, and he says he will retire at the end of the season. Here's the last pitch he'll ever throw at Fenway Park, and the last time he'll leave this field. So Felix Heredia is into the game, and he is in to try to handle David Ortiz, with Jose Contreras getting loose out in the Yankee bullpen. goes 6, allows 2 runs on 5 hits, walked 1, struck out 7.
I think it's also interesting to note that no one is up in the Boston bullpen. And Pedro Martinez in the early innings was throwing right around 86 to 88 miles per hour. But his fastball has been clocked at over 90 since that incident back in the 4th inning.
Heredia misses with ball 1. Felix Heredia was picked up off waivers from Cincinnati at the end of August. Jams Ortiz, who fouls it off his foot. It's 1-1. With the Yankees, he got into 12 games, an ERA of 1.20. Only pitched 15 innings, but he has shown Joe Torre enough that he and Gabe White, another pickup from Cincinnati, are the 2 lefties, and Chris Hammond, who spent the entire season with New York, has been left off this ALCS roster. There's White.
David Ortiz was hit on his left foot in Thursday night's game, hit by the pitch, and now he gets one off his right foot.
Here's a 1-1. He comes up and catches him in the right leg. 1-2. Two runs and only 5 hits tonight for the Red Sox. Hung in there and got a pretty good rip. See the 4 runs on 6 hits. The Yankees don't have a hit since that 4th inning. In fact, Pedro's been perfect since hitting Garcia with 2 on, a run home, and nobody out in the 4th.
One of the key pitches for Martinez so far tonight, that double play ball by Soriano. With the bases loaded, nobody out. The Yankees up by 2.
Full count. Joe Torre worries about anything with Heredia. He told us before game 1 it's the control. And he walks Ortiz. Millard coming up. And that will be it for Felix Heredia. Jose Contreras is coming into this game as Torre will take the ball from Heredia. Millard coming up. Red Sox batting down by 2.
Of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Jose Contreras is a rookie here, but he is anything but. With all of the big games he was involved with the Cuban national team. He was heavily courted by the Boston Red Sox. They offered him $27 million. He got $32 million from the New York Yankees, and he has emerged as the primary setup reliever to get to Rivera. And he's in this game with a tying run at the plate. Nobody out. Kevin Millard digging his way in. And Contreras has not been in any more of a pressure situation than he is right here. Trot Nixon will follow as this 7th inning belongs to the Cuban-born right-hander.
Kevin Millard has faced him twice in this series. He has struck out and popped out in those 2 appearances. I initially thought that was a splitter, but it was a slider. high one in a dangerous position.
The Yankees hold against Ortiz at first, who has no lead whatsoever.
You're wondering why Grady Little wouldn't pinch run in this situation. There's a chance that David Ortiz will be up again in the 9th inning. They're trailing by 2, not 1.
Line drive, base hit into left center. Ortiz will turn and go to third. Staying at first is Millar with a big hit for the Red Sox in the 7th.
Ball on the back part of the plate, and Bernie Williams makes a very nice play here, getting to the ball in time to hold Millar to first base. Good base running by David Ortiz.
That brings in Trot Nixon, a hero in Game 3 of the division series with an extra inning home run to beat the Oakland A's. Tying runs on, runners at first and third with nobody out in the 7th. And Stottlemyre is going to come out and talk to Contreras.
What this is all about is the defense on the infield. To tell Contreras and to make sure he knows what to do with the ball on a ball hit back to him. If he has to come in for a ball, there could be a play at the plate. Slow runner at third. You can see Stottlemyre talking to Posada. He's talking to Contreras. And the captain of the Yankees, Jeter, shaking his head yes as Aaron Boone and Nick Johnson go over what they're going to do.
I mean, I think right here you're going to give up the run without a doubt, and you're going to go for the double play, but it is to guard against that slow roller, that chopper. Because Ortiz is going to be going on contact, without a doubt. He knows they're going for the double play.
Here is Nixon, and here is that home run in the division series Game 3. That won the first of 3 in a row against the A's to get the Red Sox to this ALCS. Huge rip by Nixon.
Good fastball, good location.
Millar, who's the tying run, was on his toes, and if that pitch squirted away at all from Posada, he was going.
A lot of pressure on Posada because of that split finger fastball. If it's that tough to hit, it's that tough to catch.
Strike 2. First double play, a run scores. It's 4-3. So a run is home, but the Yankees get what they want. The double play, and the bases are empty with Miller coming up.
I would imagine what this ensures is that Mariano Rivera will be the pitcher in the 8th inning if the Yankees can get out of this inning with the lead.
Bill Miller now 0 for 2. 19 home runs during the regular season. Ball 1.
What may have been overlooked was that terrific at bat by David Ortiz in this inning. I mean, to count 1 and 2, a tough left-hander out on the mound, and Felix Heredia, and he coaxed a walk out of Heredia and ended up scoring.
And the play by Bernie Williams that you mentioned.
Yeah,
to
right.
keep the double play in order. 1 ball, 1 strike on Miller. Strike 2. Series even at a game apiece. Yankees leading this one 4-3, and Miller stays up there.
I find it interesting that Pedro Martinez is still in the dugout, and the Red Sox with action in their bullpen. Martinez was not going back out there. I would assume he'd be in the clubhouse by now. Mike Timlin warming for the Sox.
2-2 on Miller with a bigger home run threat. Veritek, who has hit 3 in this postseason, on deck. Now it's full. Tying run is on.
I've got a question, and you guys might be able to answer it. You've seen a lot more Yankee games than me, but would he hesitate, say Veritek were to reach, to using Rivera to get the last 7 outs?
I don't think so.
No? Just a question.
I'm not sure that Rivera's ever gone more than 2 innings. Don't know right now, but
At least in the closer's role.
right. Yeah, that's right. Perhaps he did it when John Wetman was the closer. Normally it was the 7th and 8th inning for Rivera back in 1996, setting it up for Wetman. But in the closer's role,
Check on the runner Miller at first. In case you're wondering, Miller stole 1 base during the regular season. Veritek, in his time with the Red Sox, has had a flair for the dramatic. He's at the plate with a tying run at first. Ball 1.
You see Nelson's gotten up, Gabe White's gotten up, so if Veritek were to reach, you're going to see these guys getting loose in a hurry.
You asked the question about Mariano Rivera, and we'll say this: he's pitched more than 1 inning in 21 of his 27 career postseason saves. 8 2-inning saves, which is a postseason record, albeit with many more opportunities these days. Here's a 1-0 to Veritek. Looking to crank.
I think the picture of him sitting down answering that question.
Split finger pitch from Contreras, and it dived out of the strike zone. Veritek missed it by plenty. 2 walks in the inning, a hit, but a double play mixed in off the bat of Nixon. It's a 4-3 game. And a little flare down the left field line for Boone. That ends the inning. A foul ball picked up by Aaron Boone. A little leap, a catch, a run for the Red Sox. And after 7 in Boston, Yankees lead is now 1. Pedro Martinez is finished for the night. He goes the first 7. An ugly 4th inning. The 2-run scoring for the Yankees, and then all that transpired in the top half and bottom half. And he leaves on the short end of a 4-3 score. It's Yankees 4, Red Sox 3. We're in the 8th inning. And Mike Timlin, who's been very good for Boston this postseason, takes over. In fact, his bullpen has been outstanding from game 3 of the division series through now. First pitch is strike. 94 miles an hour to Derek Jeter. Last 14 innings for this much maligned Boston bullpen. Maligned during the bulk of the season. No runs, 4 hits, 15 strikeouts, 4 walks. And Timlin's been right at the middle of all that. Jeter is singled, homered, flied out. Giambi will follow, and then Bernie Williams. One ball, one strike. The story is in the batter's box and for the Red Sox on their mound and in the Yankees bullpen. On the bullpen mound. The 1-1 pitch. Good pitch, strike 2. Mariano Rivera is getting ready for the Yankees out in their bullpen.
Derek Jeter's had a terrific night, a double, a home run, and robbed of perhaps a home run by Trot Nixon. A play that cannot be overlooked his last at bat.
Here's a 1-2. Let's check in with Chris Myers. Chris?
Yeah, Joe, just a health check on Don Zimmer. We spoke with him in between innings. He said he's fine. He got some water. He was a bit dizzy after the incident when he charged Martinez and was thrown to the ground. He said that somebody took a swing at me, didn't name Martinez by name, and wouldn't repeat what he said to Martinez. But at age 72, with the metal plate in his head, Don Zimmer up and still feisty after all these years.
Chris, thanks. That was part of that bottom of the 4th inning when Manny Ramirez took exception to a pitch that was up after both benches had been worn, with Kareem Garcia getting hit by a pitch. Fastball is by the bat of Giambi, strike 1. Jason hitless tonight, 2 out of 9 in this ALCS. Top of the order will bat for Boston in the bottom of this 8th. It appears they'll be dealing with Mariano Rivera. Here's a 1-1. Right at the shortstop, Garcia Parra. Time to recover. On the other side of the bag, Giambi hits it right into the teeth of that defense. 2 out.
Only a guy with a gun for an arm can make a play like that when the ball bounces that far in front of him. Nomar throwing side saddle, whips out Giambi.
That shift too. That shifty, and Nomar's in a place where he's not used to being. It's a different angle. Ball comes off the bat different ways.
With 2 out, nobody on. Bernie Williams hitless tonight, takes a strike. Our game summary brought to you by Nissan. Clemens, an outstanding, strong, composed start here this afternoon and evening. Pedro Martinez got through 7 solid innings, but 4 runs on 6 hits. Jeter tied it with a home run in the 3rd. And it was the 4th inning. Top of the 4th, the Yankees took the lead. Bottom of the 4th, the bench is empty. Now it's 0-2 on Williams as Timlin's trying to turn in another scoreless inning. Veritek, who's basically standing when the pitch is being delivered by Timlin.
That's about the only thing in Jason's arsenal that I do not agree with. The minute you stand up, you are telling the opposing team that a fastball is coming. You're not going to stand up on a changeup or a breaking ball. But he does that so prematurely that it's easy to pick up a pitch like that.
Got him. The Yankees have not had a base runner since Garcia was hit by Martinez. Rivera will take over. Top of the order coming up. Red Sox down by 1. Series on Fox brought to you by HP. HP Technology Services and People help make more things more possible. By UPS. What can Brown do for you? By Scary Movie 3 in theaters everywhere Friday, October 24th. Rated PG-13. And by Viagra. Step up to the plate and ask your doctor if a free sample of Viagra is right for you. Up above, these overhead pictures of Boston brought to you courtesy of Hood. Hood supports children's hospitals throughout New England. Mariano Rivera takes over. You talk about a home field advantage. Rivera, when he comes out of the bullpen at Yankee Stadium, they play Enter Sandman by Metallica to get everybody, including Rivera, pumped up. Here, the crowd just got finished singing Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. Talk about polar opposites, and Rivera will crank it up and look for a 2-inning save to try and save it for Roger Clemens. Top of the order coming up.
Doubtful that Mariano Rivera, who is from Panama, has ever heard of Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond.
By Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
Johnny Damon walks in. What a return to the lineup. 3 for 3. He scored a run tonight. And before the game,
I hurt my eye on the baseball field. Can I hear the pitch?
Jackson and Maddie.
Thank you. How about you? Thank you.
A kiss on the boo-boo for good luck. And he steps in. He'll need it against Mariano Rivera. Ball 1. Rivera, who blew 2 saves against the Red Sox this season. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Thing about Rivera, remarkable control. Inside, outside, same speed. That was a cutter that missed.
Jam shot. Tough play. Good play by Rivera. 1 out. Tomorrow, Fox NFL Sunday begins with America's #1 pregame show. Then the Bucs, trying to rebound from last week's heartbreaking loss on Monday night. They take on the Redskins. They are off to a good start in the NFC East. To the other New York-Boston battle, the Patriots-Giants. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Coverage starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. Here's Walker.
That was a terrific play by Mariano Rivera, and you can use that combination of athlete and pitcher if you refer to a starting pitcher. Rarely can you do that when you refer to a stopper or a short reliever. Well, you can with Rivera. Great athlete.
Strike 1 on Walker.
However, as a hitter, I don't like to refer to him as that.
I wouldn't
like to get many credit.
I wouldn't imagine.
The 0-1 pitch. Walker the opposite way to left. How far will it carry? Not far enough as the left fielder Matsui pulls it in. 2 out.
Pedro Martinez takes power away from hitters by changing speeds. Mariano Rivera takes power away from hitters with placement on the plate. You think you've hit it on the sweet part of the bat, but you haven't. There's that ring. There's never that click.
He's been remarkable. I mean, everybody we talked about it the other night, the heavy sinker. Well, both his pitches, he's got the sinker and the cutter, and that cutter is as heavy as any sinker. And he's the only one I know that's got it.
Garciaparra, he's had a frustrating night and series. Tonight 0 for 3. Hit with 2 on. Second and third, nobody out in the first, struck out. Bounced into a force out to end the third. And struck out with 2 on and nobody out in the sixth. To the shortstop, Jeter. Wide throw and out on the tag by Johnson is Garciaparra. That sends this game 3 into the ninth. Yankees still leading it by 1. Alan Embry takes over as we begin the 9th inning. He's the third pitcher of the night. Martinez, a perfect 8th inning, and the Red Sox are coming to expect that from Mike Timlin. Another strong piece of work, and now it's Embry. Embry will deal with Posada, Nick Johnson, and Hideki Matsui. They're the numbers this postseason for Embry. The new MLB Authentic Collection performance batting jerseys and caps are here. Now anyone can get them. Just visit MLB.com. We talked about the importance of getting a win in Game 1 for the Red Sox behind Wakefield in New York. They did it with their number 3 pitcher. Lowe did not have enough to beat Pettit in Game 2, so the series came here, and the Red Sox were able to go with their number 1 starter, Pedro Martinez, against the Yankees, quote-unquote, number 3. But I think anybody would categorize Clemens a 1 or 1A on any staff. It just so happens he's on a deep staff with that rotation, and the depth of that rotation could easily be the difference in this series. Because of the 5-game division series, everything was upside down for the Red Sox. The Yankees got rest. They had things line up the way they wanted them lined up. They went Messina, Pettit, Clemens this afternoon, and David Wells will go tomorrow night.
Joe, you talked in the opening this evening about the fact that if it goes 7 games, then the Red Sox would have Pedro Martinez pitching against them. Well, the Yankees would have Roger Clemens also.
A win here tonight by the Yankees would guarantee that at worst they get the series back to the Bronx in Yankee Stadium, as the Cubs did last night with that extra inning win down in Florida. They are assured that if they need to go deep in the series, they'll have the last action of it at Wrigley Field. They come up after this game. Dontrell Willis, that great young left-hander, against Matt Clemens. 1 ball, 1 strike on Nick Johnson.
Dontrell Willis with as much charisma as any young player coming into the major leagues in the last 2 decades.
And he can hit.
Yeah.
Johnson, a key single in this game. It came after the walk to Posada in a 2-2 game in the 4th inning. Then Matsui doubled into right. That scored 1 run. The Yankees had a 3-2 lead, and then after Garcia was hit by Pedro Martinez to load him up, Soriano bounced into a double play to force home a run and give the Yankees a 4-2 lead. It's now 4-3. There's the pitching matchup for Game 4 tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern, right here on Fox. Burkett against David Wells. 1-6 in his career against the Yankees is Burkett. 1-2 pitch. Johnson handles one and lines it up the middle for a 1-out hit. Here's Matsui.
That's one of those hits where you get to first base and you're shaking both hands. Ouch.
They hurt a lot worse if it gets caught.
That's right.
I'm sure they feel fine.
Matsui with an RBI double, which put the Yankees on top in that fourth. Good fastball by Embry, strike one. In case you're wondering if, because of that 1-6 lifetime record against the Yankees for Burkett, Grady Little toyed with the idea of going with Jeff Suppan, who was a trading deadline pickup from Pittsburgh, who pitched very well for the Pirates, did not pitch so well for the Red Sox. Grady Little said, absolutely not. I'm going with Burkett. I don't care about the numbers. Throw them away. It's a different time of year.
Talked about that Yankee-Red Sox series in late July when Pedro Martinez went on Friday night. Key series for the Red Sox. They lost Friday night's game with Martinez pitching. Then John Burkett pitched one of the finest games he's pitched in a Red Sox uniform, working 6 innings of scoreless ball against the Yankees.
1 ball, 1 strike. Ruben Sierra has come into the on-deck circle. Kareem Garcia's spot is due up next. Strike 2 on Matsui. Coming up next, Game 4 starters for the National League Championship Series will be Clemens and Dontrelle Willis. Willis has struggled in his 2 postseason starts this year, and Matt Clemens struggled in the middle innings in his lone start against Atlanta. A 1-2 pitch to third. Out. Double play sends Game 3 into the bottom of the 9th. Ramirez, Ortiz, and Millar coming up after this. From Miller to Walker, Rivera will head back to work. Who will take Game 3? We'll find out next. At the bottom of the 9th inning, we've had another ugly incident as a fan out above that Yankee bullpen has jumped down in there. Police responded immediately, as did the bullpen staff for the Yankees. And it looks like what could have been an awful situation has been handled for the most part. But you've never seen Jorge Posada run faster than he just ran out to that bullpen. I mean, he was sprinting out there to see what was going on, and those in the bullpen, along with help. And there's Kareem Garcia holding his hand. There's some of the incident. Jeff Nelson, you can see on the right, was involved. The police got out there before it got worse. And then they subdued that fan, pressed him against the far left wall of the bullpen. And order was restored for the most part. But the Yankees, the players on the field, went flying into that bullpen to try and help. And it looks like Garcia comes out of there holding his hand as if he's injured.
Well, a game like tonight gives some idiot the opportunity to go into the bullpen. Maddening.
Someone was out there in that bullpen, and it looked like Jeff Nelson, who was the one pushed farthest from that person who got in there, was right in the middle of it. Why did something like that happen? Well, We talked about it earlier. Something may happen later on in the night. After all this transpired in the fourth, Martinez in trouble, hit Garcia. The takeout slide at second highlighted. Then Pedro Martinez gesturing to the dugout. Posada had to be restrained. Then Clemens came out the next half inning, threw one up. Manny Ramirez went out there. The bench is cleared. And then the most disturbing part of it was Don Zimmer coming after Pedro Martinez, throwing a left, and Martinez throwing Zimmer to the ground, the 72-year-old bench coach for the Yankees. Clemens, to his credit, was able to control his emotions, get everything taken care of, turned in a solid 6-inning start here tonight. The bullpen has gotten it to Rivera, and whatever happened to Karim Garcia, it's bad enough for him to exit this game. So the Yankees will need a new right fielder, and Juan Rivera will be the man heading out there. So Rivera will take over in right. And it's a longer delay for Mariano Rivera, who will work to Ramirez, Ortiz, and Millar, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Boston.
Garcia was in right field, and he just jumped over the bullpen fence. Bernie Williams, but you're right, Joe. I mean, Jorge Posada with full equipment on, running out into right center field. And normally, you can't replace an injured player. But in this circumstance, there's Posada right there. In this circumstance, when the injured player is a player who is injured by a fan coming onto the field, you wonder if Major League Baseball, if Garcia can't play, if Major League Baseball would change that.
You're saying within a series, you can't take somebody off the roster and put somebody else on.
Right. If the player gets hurt during the game, you have to play with a 24-man roster if 2 players get hurt. But these are unusual circumstances.
This is different.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Mariano Rivera, who got through Damon, Walker, and Garciaparra 1, 2, 3, will deal with Manny Ramirez to start the bottom of the ninth, 4-3 New York, here in Game 3. Series tied at a game apiece. Ball 1.
Ramirez with good power the other way. Rivera a hard thrower. Chances of him hitting the ball to right field better than him pulling the ball.
That is toward right, but cut off by Nick Johnson. A flip for the out, 1 away. And the Red Sox are down to their final 2 outs. David Ortiz will walk in, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Rivera is aiming for his 28th career postseason save. What we're being told about the person who is out in the bullpen is that it was a groundskeeper employed here at Fenway Park. So as opposed to a fan jumping in, it's a groundskeeper who was in the middle of it, employed by Fenway Park. The report we are getting at this point with what just transpired out in right field as Ortiz takes it up and in, ball 1.
Was employed.
Right.
1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Two 2-0 on Ortiz.
Problem with a guy like Ortiz, if you miss down in the strike zone, Rivera trying to go in at the hands, but if you miss down, that's his home run ball. Rivera rarely misses down.
This important Game 3. Hammered and caught. Diving catch by Nick Johnson. In foul territory, guarding the line. And Nick Johnson brings in out number 2 in the ninth.
Almost straddling the line. What a play by Nick Johnson.
Great play. And that's the thing with Rivera for those lefties. I mean, that ball's hit hard, but as you saw, it's foul. It's just so hard to keep that ball fair the way it cuts in on your hands. And usually lefty, that's the best you can do, is hit a ball as hard as you can, foul.
Now it's Millar, the last chance for the Red Sox. Takes a strike. Boston led 2-0 after 1. The Yankees got a run in the second, one in the third, 2 in the fourth. It became a 1-run game in the seventh. And now with 2 out, here's the 0-1 to Millar. 1 ball, 1 strike. Roger Clemens is in line for the victory. Pedro Martinez the loss. One strike away is Rivera from his 28th postseason save. Two and 2. Millar just trying to extend this for Trot Nixon. Tying run is at the plate. 2 out. Bottom of the ninth. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Three and 2. Center field for Bernie Williams. And the New York Yankees have taken game 3. The highly anticipated matchup of Roger Clemens and Pedro Martinez ends in favor of the New York Yankees. Emotions running high, no doubt. The final pitch and the final out of this game. And this will definitely go down as an intense and memorable day in the long, serious rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Yeah, unrest has existed between these two teams since the Babe Ruth trade, and tonight's game an example of how it will continue to exist over the next century.
It was an ugly 4th inning. It was an important 4th inning for the New York Yankees. That's when they took the lead for good. Clemens, Contreras, and Mariano Rivera good enough to hang on to that lead as the Yankees win by a final of 4-3. Let's check in down on the field with Chris Myers. Chris?
With Derek Jeter, congratulations. First of all, how important
start throwing things on the field. So some weird things happen when these two teams go at it.
And was the team inspired at all when Don Zimmer was thrown to the ground by Martinez, even though it appeared he rushed Pedro?
Well, I don't know about inspired. You don't really need any inspiration. It's unfortunate. I mean, that whole incident was unfortunate. But, you know, just move on and come out back tomorrow.
Okay, thanks very much. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night. Joe Torre is also with us. Hey, Joe, congratulations on a very unusual evening. Just another bizarre set of circumstances. How's Don Zimmer, by the way?
I think he's got a little muscle pull, but thank God. I mean, I missed that whole thing because I was in the middle of that scrum out there. But
what was your recollection of what caused that? Were you worried they were taking away the inside part of the plate for Roger?
Well, no, you know, I mean, Pedro, and I've been telling, well, it's no secret. He's you know, he could be the best pitcher in baseball, but you know, he hits Kareem in the head, and it's no mistake in my mind. And I always give people the benefit of the doubt. And then, I mean, you can't sit around and just say, okay, you know, do what you want. So I'm just glad that we got through it. Of course, the win was important, but we got through it without getting anybody hurt.
Yeah, now, did Roger intentionally throw at Manny, or was that even something Ramirez should have reacted to?
I mean, you guys are on television. That ball wasn't even inside. It was high, but it was out over the plate. You know, and I think everybody was sensitive and to what the situation was, and I think we just had some people overreact.
How about what happened out in the bullpen with Garcia?
I had no clue. I mean, I went out there and Sergio, I mean, Kareem said that it's like a fan jumped out of the stands and
hit him or got to a
you know, I don't know that. I know his hand was cut because I guess he maybe landed a punch and he couldn't get the bleeding to stop. So
he'll be able to play tomorrow night if you need him.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Any special significance with Roger and the amount of innings and the situation when you took him out, how you left him in? He had that big double play ball on Ramirez in the 6th.
I'll tell you, this man is something. He has shown us over the years he's been here how he can rise to the occasion. But I just felt, even though he hadn't thrown 100 pitches, Chris, the emotion of the evening, I think, drained him more so than the pitch count.
And briefly, do you expect any fallout tomorrow night off of what we saw tonight in terms of the extracurricular activities?
Well, we're here to play baseball, you know, and we certainly, you know, that's first and foremost in our mind. I mean, you know, we win 2 more games, we get to go to the World Series, and that's more special than anything else that can happen.
All right, thanks for your time. Okay.
Thanks,
all right, more from the Theater of the Absurd. Let's go back to Joe Buck. Joe?
All right, Chris, thanks for joining us here tonight. Well, we had all of the anticipation, all the hype leading into this game, and I would say overall the game didn't disappoint. Some of the actions in the 4th inning did, but in the end it's a 4-3 win for the New York Yankees, and they take a very important 2-1 lead with a matchup of David Wells and John Burkett coming up tomorrow night. So this crowd will file out and file back in tomorrow evening, and we thank you for joining us here this evening. It started as a nice sunny day here in Boston, Massachusetts. Everybody talking about Pedro and Roger Clemens and this ALCS. What ends is, after the emotions running high, the bench is clearing a couple of times, even a fight out in the bullpen. It's a 4-3 win for the Yankees. With our thanks to Steve Horn in the booth, for Tim McCarver, for Brett Boone, Chris Myers, I'm Joe Buck. Coordinating producer of Major League Baseball on Fox and producer of today's game, Mike Weissman. The director is Bill Webb. Aaron Stoikov, our tape producer. What a game here this afternoon and this evening.
You know it's going to happen.